GM president finally admits the problem with EVs. General Motors is working to create a world where they can offer the all-electric vehicle to everyone for a price that is accessible to all. But it seems that they have some issues. Let's see. The problem. At a tech conference hosted by Goldman Sachs, GM CEO Mary Barra made the claim while outlining their approach to getting there, their Ultium platform, and their plans for scaling production. However, the company is currently having issues with their electric vehicle lineup. GM is the biggest electric vehicle seller in North America, and it desires to be the same in the rest of the world as well. But what is the issue Mary Barra acknowledged with the EVs, and what will happen next? Why is it big? For a considerable portion of the 20th and early 21st century, General Motors, an American business, was the largest motor vehicle manufacturer in the world. Automobiles, their parts, trucks, and engines are among the company's main offerings. Detroit is home to GM's corporate offices. Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, and Cadillac are GM's 4 primary automakers, and GM also provides financing options through GM Financial. Running a vehicle company is not exactly as enjoyable as it seems. These companies have a vast market and customer base, since they appeal to both lower-priced and higher-priced sectors. The auto industry is urged to transition to electric vehicles as quickly as possible, since doing so would be crucial for sustainability in the near future. Since its first production in the 20th century, the company has been in continuous operation and has provided a number of useful services. Our aim is a future with 0 crashes, 0 emissions, and 0 congestion, is the company's current core goal. The corporation has been working diligently and investing hundreds of billions of dollars in an effort to transform the system and technology into a fully autonomous vehicle. Given that the business is quite old and is attempting to compete with new brands in the industry, it's clear that it would face problems. Problem with GM. Electric vehicles are the way of the future for the car industry. It will rule the market as a whole and replace the more costly and ecologically damaging ICE car. By 2030, EVs will account for 20% of the market, and by 2040, EVs will account for 80% of the market. To stay in the market, GM's president started working accordingly. But where does the problem come from? GM is a very old heritage brand, but entering a market where other new contemporary brands are emerging made it extremely competitive. What are modern and classic brands? Therefore, current businesses that have built their entire brands around robotics and new technology, like Tesla, are considered contemporary, but historical brands lack these technologies and suffer disastrous results when they attempt to implement such significant changes in their services. Here we can guess what happened with GM as well. The fact that GM failed to produce a quality EV and instead utilized Tesla software is a cruel act on their part. The CEO of General Motors stated a year or two ago that the company would transition to all electric vehicles by 2035. In 15 years, they hope to revolutionize the world market. Additionally, Ms. Barra asserted that by 2035, every EV would be sold. GM faced many problems with EV motors. What was the reason and what were the problems? President Ruiz claims that in order to remain competitive in a market that might be extremely profitable by the year 2035, GM is investing billions of dollars in its EV initiative. Being a heritage car maker, GM struggles with public perception, according to Ruiz. The business has been dealing with battery troubles and other electrical concerns that might go quite seriously in the future. GM produces goods slowly, but Tesla, the market leader in the US, moves quickly. By the time GM begins to market its EV with an Ultium battery, it will be an old idea, and we are all confident that Elon Musk won't stop introducing fresh innovations. This causes a disadvantage for General Motors. Beyond the base and battery, an electric automobile is much more than that. There is a ton of software, interior design, entertainment, navigation, and autopilot. Both the features and the safety of Tesla vehicles have received very excellent ratings. Hybrid or separate? President Ruiz stated the same in an interview with Fox magazine, indicating that he is not prepared to discontinue ICE abruptly. The ICE will keep operating in the marketplace. Is it going to be distinct or hybrid at this point? Even though GM intends to run entirely on electricity, this won't be enough for them to make a profit. Ford and Toyota, among other companies, have declared their intention to continue operating both their ICE and EV businesses independently. GM is in the same situation. Andrew Ruess also told the magazine that GMC and Chevrolet are the leaders in the truck industry. Our full-size vehicles, mid-size trucks, and beyond are covered by it. Even if the corporation declared and established a plan to become emission-free and congestion-free, the benefit they are receiving through ICE could not be disregarded. Why did GM stop Chevy Bolt? Its failure as a hybrid car was the cause. It is claimed that the battery module, which was designed to prevent the battery from overheating or freezing, failed. President admitted the problem. The president stated in an interview that he no longer plans to invest billions of dollars in electric vehicles because of the problems with them. Making innovative and useful improvements to assist the employees in enhancing their performance at work is the GM's primary and most important organizational issue. Regarding their customer acquisition and retention methods, GM also has a hurdle. After that, technological problems must be mastered. In order to meet its target of 2025, GM is also aiming to increase the capacity of its batteries, and its new Ultium battery is the method to do it. In partnership with LG Chem Limited, GM intended to establish a battery manufacturing plant in Lordstown, Ohio. In a recent interview, Elon Musk stated that General Motors might be facing major financial difficulties. The biggest car maker in the country could even be forced to file for bankruptcy again, according to Musk. The Bolt EV, EUV, is the only electric car that General Motors now sells in large quantities, and each one results in a loss for the business. Musk criticized GM, on the other hand, for struggling when it lost 65% of its stock. When asked about the recently unveiled C8 Corvette, General Motors President Ruess disclosed that the vehicle is a hybrid rather than completely electric. When questioned why, Mark Ruess responded that C8's development had begun 5 years prior and that, at the time, it had been planned and developed differently. So it was clearly not possible to change the whole concept of the C8. Every legacy manufacturer, including General Motors, has difficulty adjusting to new circumstances. GM is attempting to update the technology and remedy the issue with their automobiles. It may compete with Tesla, Lucid, and NIO in the future. Tesla's stock rose to 11%, but it lost a lot of those shares in 2022. However, established manufacturers like GM, Volkswagen, Ford, and others won't give up on this battle. They will continue to fight for their market leadership. Ford and GM will open a new EV factory in North America. Both automakers want to sell more of the somewhat less lucrative electric cars in the US. Consequently, both are contributing to this. Tesla has reduced the cost of its most popular models, 3 and Y, by 20% despite the rising cost of EV battery raw materials, because the competition is increasing in the market and Tesla is facing problems with sales. In addition, GM and Honda Motor are developing their own EVs. Both GM and EV consumers throughout the world would profit if the firm created accessible EVs. Prices for the Chevy Equinox EV will start at $30,000 when it launches in the second part of 2023. Owning an EV is getting easier and easier. GM will be successful and produce EVs for everybody. Click on one of the 2 videos on the screen right now.